The Clockmaker's Gift. In a quiet town where the streets curled like ribbons and every window carried the glow of oil lamps, there lived an old man named Harold. He was the town's clockmaker, his tiny shop tucked between the bakery and the bookshop, where the air always smelled of fresh bread and worn paper. His shop was unlike any other. Every wall was lined with clocks, grandfather clocks, pocket watches, cuckoo clocks, sundials, each ticking with its own rhythm, each marking time in its own way. To walk inside was to be surrounded by a chorus of heartbeats, steady and unrelenting. But Harold was not just fixing gears and pendulums. People said he had a gift. They said he could see the time people carried, not just in hours and minutes, but in years, in regrets, in dreams unfulfilled. One evening, a boy named Oliver wandered into the shop. He was no older than 12, his shoes muddy from the fields, his eyes restless with curiosity. He watched the old man adjust the hands of a golden pocket watch and finally asked, "Why do you care so much about clocks? They're just machines. They only tell the time." Harold smiled, his eyes twinkling behind cracked spectacles. "No, my boy. They don't just tell time, they reveal it. Every tick is a reminder that life is moving forward, whether we notice it or not. The question is not how much time we have. The question is how we spend it." Oliver frowned. "But we all have plenty of time." Harold shook his head slowly. "Some do, some don't. Let me show you." He led Oliver to the back of the shop, where there was a cabinet unlike the others. Inside were dozens of small, delicate hourglasses, each glowing faintly in the candlelight. Some had sand rushing quickly, almost gone. Others were nearly full, their time barely begun. "What are these?" Oliver whispered. Harold's voice dropped low. "These are the lives of the people in this town. Each grain of sand is a moment, and when the sand runs out, so does their story." Oliver's eyes widened. "Do you mean you know when people will die?" The old man nodded gently. Yes, but I do not tell them, for time is not meant to be feared, it is meant to be used." The boy grew quiet, staring at the hourglasses. Finally he asked, "Which one is mine?" Harold placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "Knowing when it ends would not help you. What matters is whether you fill your moments with meaning before the sand runs out." Years passed. Oliver grew into a man. He worked, he married, he had children, but the memory of that night in the clockmaker's shop never left him. Whenever he was tempted to waste time on bitterness, on pride, on waiting for someday, he heard Harold's voice. "The question is not how much time you have. The question is how you spend it." When Oliver was in his 40s, he returned to the town. The streets were older, the bakery quieter, the bookshop faded, but the clockmaker's shop still stood, though its windows were dim. Inside, Harold was frail, his hands trembling as he tried to wind a small clock. Oliver rushed to him. "Master Harold, it's me, Oliver. Do you remember?" The old man's eyes lit up. "Ah, the boy who wanted to see his hourglass." Oliver smiled. "Yes, I never forgot." Harold leaned close, his voice thin but steady. "Good, because my time is almost gone. But before I leave, I want you to take something." He opened the cabinet once more. The hourglasses glowed faintly, but one was nearly empty. It was his. "This is mine," Harold whispered, "and soon the last grain will fall. But I am not afraid, for I have lived each moment as fully as I could. I built clocks, yes, but more than that, I gave people time they thought they had lost. I reminded them to treasure every second. That was my gift. Now I give you a gift, the reminder that your sand is still falling. Do not waste it, Oliver. Do not wait for tomorrow to say the words that matter. Do not leave the people you love sitting in silence. Do not think that someday is guaranteed, because someday may never come." That night, Harold passed away in his sleep. the ticking of the clocks in his shop the only sound that marked his final hour. The villagers said the shop felt emptier, quieter, as if time itself had lost a guardian. But Oliver carried Harold's lesson for the rest of his life. He told his children, his friends, anyone who would listen, time is not something we keep. It is something we spend. And once it is gone, no clock in the world can give it back. And perhaps that is the greatest truth of all. We count years, we celebrate birthdays, we chase deadlines. But what matters is not the number of days we have, but the life we pour into those days. The clockmaker built no monuments, left behind no riches, wrote no books, but he left something greater, the wisdom that every tick of the clock is a choice to love, a choice to forgive, a choice to live. So tonight, as you close your eyes, remember Harold's words. The question is not how much time you have. The question is how you spend it. Because when your hourglass runs out, what will matter most is not how long you lived, but how deeply.